Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks, and this is the Carbonation Conversation. You can find us on Facebook at the Carbonation Conversation, and you can also find us on Twitter at the Carbonated Convo, as well as slowly uploading on YouTube, and also you can find us on iTunes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a review of Spencer Confidential, a film starring Mark Wahlberg that's on Netflix. And, Netflix seems to be pulling out all the stops, throwing money at every fucking thing. And, they threw money at Ryan Reynolds with 6 Underground, and I keep calling it 6 Underground even though it's 6 Runner. And now they're throwing a whole bunch of money at Mark Wahlberg and the director Peter Berg. Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg have actually did about at least 4 films together. A couple of them: Patriots Day, Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, Mile 22. Lone Survivor was the only one out of the 4 I've seen. I can actually say without a shadow of a doubt, Lone Survivor, really, really good fucking movie, at least in my perspective. And to be honest, when I take a look at Mark Wahlberg's career, I am just completely astonished at how successful this guy has legit been. Obviously, we know the Marky Mark and all the songs and the boy band and all of that shit. But when I look at his movie filmography, it's pretty impressive. Some really, really good movies, at least in my mind, stick out. Fear, I remember that as a kid. I don't know if that stands the test of time these days. Boogie Night, Dirk Diggler, 3 Kings, The Perfect Storm, The Horrible Planet of the Apes. We all know that shit was horrible. Truth About Charlie. The Italian Job was really good. I heard Edward Norton actually did not want to do that film. I could not see that film without him, though. 4 Brothers. And then he started getting into, after 4 Brothers, way more serious Oscar-worthy roles. And the first, at least 2 movies after 4 Brothers that he went into kind of an Oscar kind of thing was Invincible and The Departed. Great movies. And I'm going to say a little, I'm going to try to put a notation on The Departed because I want to talk about that a little later. But yeah, man, you can just go down the list, man. Shooter, great movie. We Own the Night, that's up for debate. The Happening, up for debate as well. Max Payne, up for debate. The Lovely Bones, didn't like it. Date Night, The Other Guys. The Fighter was really good. Contraband wasn't bad. And I mean, again, he has a list endless. It goes on and on and on. And when you think of like really, really, really good actors, you don't really think of Mark Wahlberg. At least to me, he's not one of the first people who come up when you have a serious movie. Again, the only movie that I can really say, in my personal point of view, that was pretty serious for Mark Wahlberg was The Fighter. And I even think I don't know if Mark Wahlberg got a Oscar for The Fighter. I would actually have to take a look at that, but I believe Christian Bale got one for The Fighter. to me, The Fighter was probably, and again, I haven't seen all of his movies, but it was probably his best drama movie. Like, I don't really remember Mark Wahlberg other than having a serious movie where you actually kind of felt for him. And, it was a lot of emotion and, pretty good dialogue in the film. That and Invincible, I would say. But I think when compared with the two, people would probably lean towards The Fighter more than Invincible. So yeah, Christian Bale won a Best Supporting Actor, but I do not think Mark Wahlberg maybe he got nominated, but I don't see him. Golden Globes, Best Actor. Nope, he was nominated, didn't win. He was nominated but didn't win. So Christian Bale won that, Best Supporting Actor, and to me that was probably Mark Wahlberg's best serious film. And I do wanna first, before I even continue, because I want to get on The Departed before I talk about this movie, and I do have a Happy New beer, and I've already opened it up. It wasn't a can, it was actually a bottle, so it was just a quick twist off. Right now I am drinking some Heineken. I felt a little bit in the mood for some Heineken. So, most people know how that tastes, and I'm just gonna end it with that. But definitely, if you guys have any beer recommendations, please comment below on some beer recommendations, because I'm always interested in trying new beer, anything but fruity beer. I hate fruity beer. If I'm gonna have a fruity beer, I might as well just have a cocktail. That's just how I feel about that. And Melvin loves his Long Islands. I usually get a Long Island with a shot of Jameson. But let's get back to, at least I just wanted to touch on The Departed. Let me talk about The Departed for a second, and Mark Wahlberg's character in The Departed. The Departed was a great film. Really enjoyed it. You could probably say one of the blah 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 greatest films and blah blah blah. That is definitely undeniable. I mean, great cast, great film. And I did enjoy Mark Wahlberg's character. However, I did also feel like Mark Wahlberg's character in The Departed was a little bit extra as fuck. And I just remember that scene where it was kind of like him and Leonardo DiCaprio, when he was kind of, I think it was him being interviewed for the position, and he was just like, "You're not a fucking cop. I know you, and you're not a fucking cop." I just feel like that Mark Wahlberg right there, that actor, that character got put into a lot more of his movies after that. And because of that, I feel like now he is kind of almost typecast as this action comedy guy who kind of always has to, be like, "I don't know why these people are hitting me, but they're hitting me with the box, and the box hurts, and I don't understand what's going on. I don't, but it hurts." it hurts. And, he's just kind of going and going and going and going and going. And, I feel like he's just throwing these comedy lines that he's probably getting from the writers out there. And I just feel like that is mostly Mark Wahlberg in every fucking movie that he is in. which is a shame because I really, really like Mark Wahlberg, and I really do feel like he has a lot of more acting skills, such as Mark Wahlberg in The Fighter, in Invincible, and a lot in Lone Survivor, in The Shooter. Now I'm seeing Mark Wahlberg a lot in shit like, the Transformers, The Last Night, Ted 2, and that character, to me, that character actor is almost, to me, how people feel about, the fuck is his name? Neo from The Matrix. I cannot believe I don't know this actor's name right now. I am literally going to Google it. It's a fucking shame. I don't know Neo's goddamn name in the movie. But Keanu Reeves, you know how they feel like Keanu Reeves is kind of like, he's only one specific type of character actor in every movie that he's in. He's basically the guy who doesn't want anything to do with it, but he's the chosen one and he has to save the world. And that's pretty much Keanu Reeves in a nutshell, in every movie that he's usually in. And I fucking love Keanu Reeves, but we gotta be serious. That's literally Keanu Reeves in a nutshell, and it's not like he does it bad, but it just is what it is. So getting to the movie Spencer Confidential, it's pretty a straightforward action comedy movie, and you can expect action comedy, really. Mark Wahlberg plays a cop, or who he at least was a cop. He got arrested for beating the shit out of his superior officer because his superior officer was dirty, and Mark Wahlberg's character could not take it anymore. And so he confronted the guy at his house. He was basically confronting him about all the dirty shit and hiding of information and everything, basically, and got into a confrontation with his superior officer, beat the shit out of him, got 5 years in jail. We do have a Post Malone scene. Oh, that guy looks just so fucking horrible. Okay music, but he just looks like shit. And he gets released, and now he's basically trying to set his life back straight. He seemed to piss off the criminals, because obviously the criminals pay the cops, and the cops have superiors, and it seems like everybody's dirty in this fucking movie. I mean, seriously. And so he wants to leave the city, and I'm 100% that it probably is Boston, because Mark Wahlberg and Ben Affleck and I believe even Matt Damon, they love doing shit in Boston. Obviously, most of them are from Boston, and they ain't hating on Boston, but Jesus Christ, can it be in any other fucking city? And the crazy shit ensues. Now, I'm not finna say this is a bad movie, because it's not. It's a ride. You pretty much know what you're in for. The director, Peter Bang, has made some really, really good movies. He has a resume to back him up. Friday Night Lights, Hancock, Collateral, Copland. One of my favorite movies that he did was Smoking Aces. Plus the 4 I mentioned with Mark Wahlberg specifically. So he is not a bad bad director at all. And this movie's a lot of action. Kind of tries to do the buddy comedy thing. Because Winston Duke is also in this movie, and he plays Hawk. So Hawk is kind of like his sidekick. He just he's on probation too. Mark Wahlberg's character ends up going to this halfway house that his friend Henry owns, and they basically are kind of forced to be roommates. Hawk and Spencer. Spencer is Mark Wahlberg's character. And, they're basically trying to get their lives together. But you can see, Mark Wahlberg's character he's been away for 5 years. So I believe he even used to live at the place that he's at now. I don't even want to say it's like a halfway house. Maybe Henry was just nice and found Hawk on the street, because Hawk has so much potential, because I believe Henry is also like a boxing coach, or maybe a UFC coach or some shit like that. So he saw some potential in Hawk, and I'm assuming when Hawk was on probation, he told him he could kind of live in Spencer's room when Spencer was in jail for beating the shit out of the cop. And then, they kind of try to do the buddy comedy. Spencer comes in, he's like, who the fuck is this dude? Especially because Henry doesn't say shit. Spencer sleeps. The next day he wakes up, he goes to the bathroom, and it's this big ass black dude in the bathroom. And then he's just like, what the fuck? And closes the door on Spencer, because it's like, dude, I'm in the bathroom. I just got out the shower. I'm in the shower and brushing my teeth. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. But it's kind of just like, bro, fuck you, fuck you in my space. Close the door. Spencer comes out like, who the fuck is this? He's like, oh, that's Hawk. That's your new roommate. And Hawk is fucking with Spencer's dog that he loves. Not really fucking with it, but kind of just playing. Loves it. Apparently he massages his fucking dog every day. And, they kind of have like, I guess, kind of like a brother sibling kind of fights and shit like that. And that's kind of cool. That's pretty funny. I didn't realize though how humongous Winston Duke is, or at least how this movie made him seem. And I don't know why I didn't realize that, because this is the dude from Black Panther, M'Baku. I think M'Baku or MBQ. He basically was the guy who ended up saving T'Challa. He found him, in the ice, and pulled his body out when his mom and his little sister escaped Wakanda. Not necessarily Wakanda, but like the kingdom area, and gave T'Challa the flower that they snuggled out. He was that guy. He was I want to say they call him like the Prince of the Apes, but the King of the Ape clan or some shit like that off on Black Panther. And not only that, he was in Us. Didn't realize he was the father in Us, which we should definitely do a review on. But yeah, I did not know he was that guy, because I barely know this guy. And to know that he is this huge, I mean, seeing him when he's kind of like sparring in the cage, like, dude looks huge. And he just looks huge, like he's a monster, like he's a beast, and that's what his character kind of portrays, just like he's a straight beast. And so Spencer finds out that the officer, or his superior officer that he beats the shit out of, gets killed gangster style, or looks like cartel style, because they have machetes, and we know on some real shit the only people who use machetes are like the fucking cartels. Like, they pretty much chopped him up after like ramming his car, beating the shit out of him when he was on his way to pick up his daughter, or to not pick her up, just meet with her. He actually, for a second there, I thought he was probably like an undercover good cop for a second, because he was talking to his daughter, and it seemed so sweet, like they were trying to humanize this guy so much. What the hell is his name? His name is Captain Boylan, played by Michael Gaston. And Michael Gaston has been in everything, and he's usually the asshole character. you can always recognize that guy and be like, I know that guy from fucking somewhere. And he's usually the asshole guy, and that's just all I'm gonna say about that. But they kill his ass. And immediately the cops think Spencer did it. And not only that, they actually frame another police officer that Spencer knew, and Spencer know that was a straight shooter. So for whatever reason, Spencer has this huge moral code, want to be the superhero, want to save the day, basically. And it's funny that I say superhero, because even his girlfriend Sissy jokes and calls them like the half-ass Batman, Robin, and Henry fucking Alfred. And to be honest, the movie is kind of making fun of itself, because that's what it really is. It looks like, a cheesy ass TV show from like the fucking 60s and 70s, where they're just like, the characters are just like, hey Tom, stay out of it, we don't need any more trouble. And Tom is just like, I can't, it's the principle of the matter, I am going to save the day, and yada yada yada. And the one thing I will say about this movie is, like Six Runner, 1 minute they had me. For 1 damn minute, I thought I was gonna get some emotion, and I think it was the scene between Spencer and the officer who they framed wife. And what should have been in a real emotional scene, you can't help but feel for this woman. Oh my fucking God, that dialogue was horrible. Jesus fucking Christ. I just remember shaking my head like, this is horrible. This is like something I'm watching on the CW, and then I need to stop shitting on the CW, because I like a lot of shit on the CW. But when you're watching the CW, you know what you're getting. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm watching a Netflix movie and I'm seeing dialogue and facial expressions that are horrible. I think there even was a scene where Mark Wahlberg is telling this old woman something. For the love of me, I can't remember what he's telling her, and then she just breaks down and starts crying. And it is some of the most horrible crying acting I've ever seen in my fucking life. It is just so hilarious, and I'm just like, I think this movie's, kind of making fun of itself. And yeah, Mark Wahlberg and, Spencer and Hawk, they basically, find out that the cops are the dirty ones. Not only did obviously we knew that the cops were dirty, because in the beginning, we basically said that the cops were dirty, but he finds out that the officer that they framed was actually going to turn in Boylan, and Boylan was actually going to cooperate, and I'm pretty sure get a reduced sentence, shit like that. And so his other members who were fellow cops, one cop in particular who was supposed to be Spencer's, Mark Wahlberg's character's buddy, Driscoll, played by that dude from Jason's Lyrics, because even though he was in a whole bunch of movies, we only remember you from Jason's Lyrics, brother. Sorry, you're just that guy from Jason's Lyrics who pretty much killed, didn't he kill Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett? Was that Jada Pinkett? I don't know. If that was Jada Pinkett, please comment. Maybe that wasn't Jada Pinkett. I haven't seen Jason's Lyrics in so long, but we know you the bad brother from Jason's Lyrics. And for the most part, you are the bad guy. You just unfortunately look like a bad guy. That's so horrible. Yeah. But I mean, just like What's my guy's name from The Walking Dead? The actor from The Walking Dead, Daryl. Daryl just looks like he's one of those other actors who just looks like a bad guy, and when you put him in a good setting, a racist white bad guy. I think he was in Mississippi Burning, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Driscoll, who was supposed to be Spencer's friend, turns out to be, I guess the second in command to Boylan when they were all dirty, and now seems like he is the leader of the group. And him and Boylan duke it out. They have, the macho ending scene, and obviously, as Spencer does throughout the whole movie. One thing I do like is he is getting his ass kicked. He is kicking ass too, but he is definitely getting his ass kicked in this whole movie, and he even acknowledges that, which I guess kind of makes it funny. And yeah, basically he saves the day. The only other note I would talk about Spencer Confidential is the girlfriend, Sissy Davis. Wow. If you could not get a typical female from, I guess, how they act in Boston, I'm assuming that's what she was supposed to portray. Jesus Christ, she was fucking intense. She also reminded me of Leah Remini for some reason, from Kevin Smith TV show. I can't think of that name right now. Kings of Queens. But man, she was intense and a little bit annoying. Her job was pretty funny with all the dogs. I will say that was pretty funny when all of them were at the house. And I think probably her most funniest line was the Batman and Robin line, which unfortunately was in the trailer. And I really gotta talk to Netflix personally right now. Netflix, this is your boy Melvin Banks from the Carbonation Conversation. How are you doing this night, this late night? Can you please stop showing like 8 minutes of the trailer, or like a whole 3-minute action scene? Like, bruh, you really need to stop doing that when promoting your movies. I feel like sometimes I see the whole movie while watching the Netflix trailer. I'm just saying. Just a thought. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is Melvin Banks from the Carbonation Conversation. And as always, I love you. And let me know how you felt about Spencer Confidential. It looks like they may do a second one, a sequel, because again, did look like did have that buddy cop feel, just like Six Runner did. Seems like they could possibly do a sequel. So it seems like Netflix is trying to start some, cheesy franchises over there. But again, let me know how you felt about it. Let me know your favorite Mark Wahlberg movie. And will Driscoll always remind you of the brother from Jason's lyrics? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Melvin Banks once again from the Carbonation Conversation, and I love you.